Okay, welcome back to this week's episode of the Broken Kid Podcast. I think we're on episode 3, but really, who cares? The world could not be in a much better place with the team up of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, because to be honest, Ryan Reynolds is the god of, unfortunately, not America, but Canada. I'm not Canadian, but I wish I was. But with the team up of Ryan Reynolds and Mr. Hugh Jackman, boy, is it an amazing time to be a human. Let me tell you, I have been waiting for this for 2 years. 2 years ever since I saw that leaked set picture, the one where we see Ryan Reynolds with long hair. I thought that was gonna be like a different dimension, like a young, like before Ryan Reynolds wears before Wade Wilson wears the Deadpool suit, or when he wears it, but before he is hideously scarred, like maybe in some other timeline he's always been Deadpool. But then he gets the ultimate healing factor. But no, I was wrong. He turns out to be nice pool. But it is such an amazing time to be a Marvel fan until Marvel releases the bullshit thing with RDJ coming back as some stupid Doom, Doctor Doom. I don't know why they did that. But let me just tell you, if you haven't seen this movie, you need to turn this off, which, let's be honest, no one's watching this shit. Second of all, you need to go and watch it, and you need to just, I don't care what you do, if you do LSD, if you spike your water with acid, if you smoke a blunt of weed, go in there and you fucking watch that movie. Because let me tell you something, I've already watched it 4 times, 1 in 3D, and the other 3 times in the movie theater in just a regular screening. And then I watched it another 3 times, pirated, and oh my god, this was awesome. This was the best film I have ever seen. And now, you shouldn't go watch this movie if you're a person like me. If you watch movies and you get heavily influenced by them, you probably shouldn't watch this. Because I left this movie theater after like the 4th time of watching it, feeling as if I was Ryan Reynolds, as if I was Deadpool. Because I remember when I watched Burlesque and I had this attitude that I was a fucking sexy stripper whore, and I started selling my body for sex and blowjobs and shit, and all it got me was fucking molested 15 times by an old creepy dude who used to work as a volunteer at a fucking public library. Which, let me tell you, if a middle-aged man works at a public library as a volunteer for free, which is what a volunteer is, he's most likely a pedophile. And also, here's this thing. When I go to In-N-Out, there's this creepy dude who's 22 who looks at, he's 21, he looks at you like he's gonna fucking rape you, like he's gonna have sex with you without permission. And I was told that by the manager who hangs out with him on their free time, who's like a 35-year-old man, which is okay. But the 35-year-old man got him into bowling, which is fine if a 35-year-old man is playing bowling. There's only 2 kinds of people who play bowling. If you're a middle-aged man, or if you're a fucking pedophile. I don't know what a fucking 21-year-old is doing playing bowling, but sure. But you shouldn't watch this movie if you're heavily influenced, because now I feel like I'm going to have this new attitude and I'm going to wear it everywhere. I go to the coffee shop next to where I work at, and I do before this movie came out, I was doing my jokes. I'm heavily influenced by Ryan Reynolds. I grew up on him. And I used to go to the coffee shop and do my Deadpool style type humor. They grew up. They grew to like it. But now I'm going to take it up. And I mean, oh my God. I mean, in the joke, in the movie, they make a joke about him being ADHD, about him having ADHD. I don't know if he might be possibly autistic, but he might be autistic because or something is wrong with him where he just doesn't care and he doesn't have that filter. But oh my God, like, holy shit, this guy, you can learn so much from this movie. It's great. It's got great comedy. This movie, after watching it, I watched it 2 times today, back to back. This is the best depiction of Deadpool yet. Like, all the other ones were great, but this one, oh my God, it's like watching it through a fucking, you are very hypersexual when you're watching, because you feel like you're watching it through the lens of Deadpool, because he's very pansexual and fluid with his sex. Let me make sure this shit is recording. And it's fucking crazy because you're watching it, right? And there's multiple scenes. So first of all, they do this part where they record it, where it's shot him getting his new suit, and he comes out and he says, "Fucking A, take it in," and he says, "Yes, it's true. Your underwear is getting tighter. Just ask this guy." His clothes says middle management, but his eyes say "fucky fucky," and then it cuts to a shot of him throwing himself on backwards, and it takes a close up of his booty. And then there's this scene where there's Hugh Jackman, right? His clothes explodes, and you get to see his abs with hair, and you're like, holy fuck! So you know you're not only does it convert you into a pansexual, but you know you end up. It has a beautiful moral of the story where you kind of have to. This whole notion of you're not always going to be the flower. Sometimes you have to be the gardener, which is like a metaphor for, you know, you're not always gonna you're not always gonna get the attention. You're not gonna always be the flower. You're not gonna always be the one that's being tended to. Who's always gonna get the spotlight? Who's always gonna be shining? Sometimes you're gonna be the gardener. Sometimes you're gonna have to put yourself aside to focus on someone else. And part of it was, you know, that you're gonna want to do it willingly. So I thought that was really cool. But no, I think this is an amazing movie for people. I love this movie. I've already got lines of the movie memorized, like the one where he's like, "Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider." But there's also, what's another one? I thought you were retired. You thought I was retarded? Retired. I've already been sent to the void once. I don't want to get canceled again. And then Elektra's in this. There's so many things that if you're not a fan, you're gonna ruin. You're gonna miss it. But I think this is why Ryan Reynolds is amazing. This is why Ryan Reynolds is here and God is here. This is why Canadians love being Canadian, and this is why Americans are a little scared of being American. Because let's be honest, it's like doomsday up in this bitch. And it's like that second Wolverine when they try to recruit him where he has the hand missing. But this was a bit more of a serious podcast. This podcast was done with the intention of possibly just whoever sees it, knowing that you know, life is going to be a little emotional, but emotion is not bad. There's nothing bad with showing people that you care. There's nothing bad with stumbling and getting back on your feet, or falling down completely and having to get back up on your feet. Because in the wise words of Miranda Baccarin, you took a knee and you never got back up. So enough talking. Go see this movie. You're gonna love it. And hopefully episode 4 of the Broken Kid podcast will be something a little bit more funnier and less sentimental. Or maybe it will be sentimental. Just like Deadpool. Deadpool is a mix of both. But take care.